are listening to
Tour Talk. What the hell are we listening to? The Vegas Tourist.
Wow, she got it right. You've been taking notes.
No, I had to look over there on the screen.
So good when you have your wife support.
Well, if we didn't have more than one website, it'd be a lot easier.
We have more than one website?
We do.
We do?
Uh-huh.
When was the last time you visited yours?
It was more than a day ago.
Was it in this year?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I'm Mark Anthony. This is the VegasTourist.com podcast, episode number 218. And this sweet, darling voice that you're hearing next to mine is...
I'm Debbie Anthony, and I'm happy to be here.
She's happy, yes. Gave her lunch and, she's ready for it.
No, you gave me Dairy Queen.
I gave you Dairy Queen.
Blizzard.
That's right. All right, of course, you can always find more information about us on the VegasTourist.com website. This episode, our guest is Gloria Kritzler from Virgin Atlantic Concierge Service. She was my very first tour boss.
Really?
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing this. Well, I'd be doing the podcast, but I wouldn't be doing tours.
Ah, gotcha.
So, yeah, she had a weak moment and said, "Oh, we'll give this
dude a try."
Yeah, why not? So, thank you, Gloria. All right. Yep. Otherwise, I'd still be
chauffeuring people around in long limousines, dealing with the strip every day.
No, I think I would have killed somebody by now. I just the other night I came back from the South Rim and got into that pre-Labor Day. Yeah. And I went, I used to love being down here, and I was just like, I want to just jump the curb and just plow it.
Don't say that.
No, okay.
Don't say that. That's not funny.
Up on the website, we've got a couple new posts. The newest one is the little casino that couldn't.
Uh-oh.
The Golden Palms.
Oh yeah.
One of the reasons that I stay in Vegas, other than the fact that I'm married to you and we own a house.
I'd say those are two very good reasons.
Previous to that, is I love Vegas's history and I love the little stories of Vegas.
Yes. And
the Golden Palms is one of those. It sits right on the corner across from the In-N-Out Burger on Tropicana and the I-15. And it's this little, I think it's a 114-room hotel, had a just an absolute dive bar casino with some of the most god-awful karaoke in it. And then it had this...
Is it by the Wild West?
Yes.
That Wild West? Oh, okay.
And then on the end, it had this IHOP restaurant that was sometimes an IHOP, sometimes it wasn't.
Denny's, sometimes it was...
No, it's either they didn't pay the franchise fee or what, but, you'd go in there and there'd be a regular menu, the Golden Palms restaurant, and then you'd go in there another time and it'd be the IHOP restaurant menu, and then you'd pull in and it was closed.
Oh Lord.
With the lights on, open 24 hours.
Oh.
Okay.
Really mess with the people.
Oh yeah. And and for those of you that know the area that I'm talking about, kitty corner from that is the Wild Wild West, which is a Stations casino, and they have that big parking lot for the semi trucks. So you had the lot lizards out there, the $5 hookers and all that. Well, the guy that bought that, he bought it. If I remember my story right, he bought it like in 1995, and he paid like $5 million for the Howard Johnson franchise and paid $2 or $3 million for the land.
Right.
So he paid more for the franchise.
And then it's not even there anymore.
Well, no, it's about to be gone. And then he just ran it, and then, everybody was booming. The 2000s came, and he said, I want to play with the big boys. I want to be the MGMs and all that. So he came up with this wild idea of, it's like a 4-acre plot, and he was going to build this resort on there. Well, Stations Casino, who owns the Wild Wild West, said, no, you can't do that, because the traffic congestion on that corner is just going to be horrible if you build a 400-room hotel.
Right.
Well, meanwhile, they're in front of the Clark County Board of Zoning asking to build a 2,000-room hotel. And they're going, you're going to cause.
Yeah, you can't do this because we're going to, and we don't want you to get in our way.
And then Stations pulls in MGM, and because MGM owns New York, just across the bridge on them. You can't do that. It's like, how is this going to impact the MGM? Okay. So anyway, and then he got into a deal with Charlie Palmer, the steakhouse restaurateur. Mm. And if I remember the details correctly, it was basically a handshake deal. Charlie was going to put up the money, and then he was going to provide the land and the gaming license. Well, Charlie Palmer turns around and says, "Nah, I'm going to go do something else." Meanwhile, he lets his gaming license lapse. Uh-huh. He had an unrestricted gaming license, which means basically he could have built a casino anywhere in Nevada and nobody could have said anything. Yeah.
Oh, you dumb.
Media likes to say that he failed to renew it. No, he just let it lapse.
You dumb.
Yeah. So anyway, it sat there for 10 years empty, 8 years out, sitting there on that corner, and now finally they've got it all fenced off. And I talked to a guy there, and he was like, "Yeah, he sold it to Hilton, and they're going to tear it down and make it into timeshares." But I love the guys that I talked to.
There's going to be timeshares right across the street from the McDonald's and stuff that's right there.
In-N-Out.
Oh, the In-N-Out. Oh.
Do not mix that with McDonald's.
Sacrilege.
Come on,
yes,
no kidding.
I know.
So I'm like, okay, Hilton's and Hookers. Perfect. Right on the same corner.
That sounds like a blog post right there.
It does. And then I did a strip tour, bus tour, which was kind of funny. I what was there? It was like 35 of them, and they were staying at the Monte Carlo. And so we got onto the bus, and we were going to head off to the sign. Mm-hmm. And the tour leader asked me about the fact that he was told that they're going to rebrand the Monte Carlo. And I said, yes, they are.
And what are they going to call it?
Yes. And everyone's like, oh, we kind of like the name, the Monte Carlo. So however, what are they going to change it to? And I said, the Park. And they're like, huh? Yeah, over there. I'm like, no, they're going to call this the Park at MGM. And I had 35 people go, you got to be joking me. I'm like, yep. It's called creativity in a corporate environment.
There is none.
The Park. Huh? So and I gave them my usual response. It sounds like a Sheraton. And they all went, no, that's not even a Sheraton. It's called the Park. No. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. They were not happy, MGM, Jim Marin. The Park. But it was really funny because then we were down on the Fremont Street Experience. And it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm in front of the Binions and the Golden Nugget, and I'm doing my spiel on the history of all of this.
Right.
10 feet away from me is a woman trying to sell tickets to a walking tour of the Fremont Street Experience. And I know who her boss is. I'm not going to name the name, but yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what happened?
Yeah. So, I am giving the spiel of the Fremont Street Experience, Binions, Golden Nugget, Vegas Vic, and on Vegas Vicky. All right. Well, this girl who's trying to sell this walking tour of a cultural tour of
downtown.
Right. She's like getting closer.
Yes. And you have a tendency of doing that to people. I call you the Pied Piper,
right?
Because
right.
You draw them in.
There are other people doing that, kind of coming into my peripheral.
Yep.
But this one is like making herself known.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I know who her boss is. I'm like, okay,
what is she up to?
Yeah. So when I let my group go, and they went and did their thing, I walked over to her and I said, so how was it? And she goes, I didn't know half of the stuff you just said.
All right.
Where did you learn all that? I'm a tour guide.
It's my job.
And I know your boss. Tell your boss I did it without notes.
Ooh, burn.
Yeah. And she looked at me and she knew exactly what I was talking about, and I walked away. So
yes, he does have an evil side.
Yes, I do.
He doesn't like to show it often, but once in a while it does come out.
Yes. But it was really funny because then I took the group from there. We went down the Strip, and then we stopped at the Venetian. And I love walking through the Venetian because you walk through the casino, and then I'm going to head them up the escalators to the shopping area. And so right between the escalators going towards the Strip, I pull them all, you got the marble flooring there. Mm-hmm. And so I'm doing my spiel on the fact that I know I'm going to lose a couple of you because I always do in the Venetian, because you will be following my directions, but then you won't be listening to me because you're going to be looking at this, and I point to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the eyes go up.
Yeah, the mouth comes open, the eyes go up, and they start walking into walls.
And it was funny because then I'm like, okay, now let's go up the escalators. And I walk through my group over to the escalators, and they're all still standing there going, oh. I'm like,
yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo, up here.
There's
up here.
more.
Yes. Oh. And then I did my usual thing with the living statues.
Oh.
I think my one guest probably had to go change her Depends.
She was probably wishing she'd brought us a spare, because
yes.
I know you pulled that on me.
Yes. They didn't have the living statue in the usual place. That they had it in St. Mark's Square in front of all these people.
Our first date.
So yeah, it's so I grabbed my one. The one person that I knew would get the most joy out of this, she's lining up her photo with her iPad, and I'm like, okay, so I grab her, yeah. So I grab her iPad and I hand it to a friend of hers, and I says, and I take her hand and I walk her up the two stairs. She stands next to the living statue, not realizing it's a living statue.
Yeah, she just thought it was just a statue.
She's posing for our photos, and the living statue does what they do best, is that hand comes out.
Yeah.
That just gentle hand.
I expect a tip.
That's kind of what it is for, but more, the statue wants to take this girl's hand. This woman, I think, just came right out of her, just as scream and jump, and about half my group jumped. And I was like, okay.
Oh God, it moves.
Yeah, it moved. Now tip her or him. Never know if it's a him or her.
It's kind of hard to tell,
Yeah. So
they look like concrete, and they're covered in Roman robes or Parisian robes. So. And
then from there we went over to the Bellagio.
Yes, I'm still mad at you.
Under the sea. Everything's under the sea. I got their whole mermaid thing. It just so.
Did you see the Little Mermaid? Oh, I guess that would be kind of you'd need Walt Disney's permission for that. So
they have other things there. They have the two
the
big,
diver.
The big two. They have two big tanks of fish.
Yeah, you're gonna still have to show me.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Also up on the website is my first response to the stadium issue.
Oh boy.
It is an all or nothing. And it's not, should we expand the convention center or should we build the stadium? It is, we build both or we build neither. I'm sorry, there's just both of them have the exact same impact on Vegas tourism and Vegas convention business. They're both that important to our growth. And it's amazing. I shouldn't say that. After all of these years, when I do statements like this, that I go against the grain. Me go against the grain.
Yeah, never happens.
Okay. I get a ton of emails from friends, from other podcasters, from other Vegas
followers,
from other Vegas bloggers that say the exact same thing. I agree with you 200%.
But can't say anything.
But I can't say it publicly, and do not quote me on the air.
Right.
Because they have
people that they answer to.
They answer to MGM. This is a company town. And so they just don't do it. So it's like, I get these emails going, God, Mark, I wish I could say what you said. Jesus, you just, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, you would say it in a more polite manner.
But you know what? You get your point across.
Right.
People don't have any trouble understanding what you're trying to say.
Exactly. They just don't like the fact that there's no sugarcoating on top of it.
No, you don't sugarcoat. He doesn't even for his wife if she says, does my butt look fat in this?
Oh, I'm not even going to comment on that one. We need the stadium and we need the convention center expansion, and we don't need to raise the tax. We don't need to raise the room sales tax. We just need the LVCVA to be more fiscally responsible.
I agree with that.
Okay. So, yeah. See, I'm saying that really gently.
I noticed you're being very good. I'm very proud of you.
My Adderall is working. It's really working. We went.
Where did we go?
Where did we go?
Where did we go this week?
We went to the Pole Expo.
We were at the Hard Rock.
We were at the Hard Rock. I forgot how many beautiful people hang out at the Hard Rock.
It's really intimidating for somebody my age, let me tell you.
Yes.
For a woman my age, ouch. But, you got to appreciate beautiful people.
Mother Nature and plastic surgeons.
Well, not the men, but maybe. Yeah.
There were some good men walking through there.
But, I mean, I don't know if that's plastic surgeons or just Mother Nature was just really kind.
I always love to tell this story about the Hard Rock. When I was chauffeuring, the Hard Rock was the place.
Right.
We didn't have the Palms yet. Okay.
So it's party at the Hard Rock.
Yep. That's where the celebrities hung out. That's where all the pretty people went and all that. And it was so funny because after a major event like a boxing event or a major concert, this is where we'd hang out for breakfast. It was at Mr. Lucky's, where you and I had a...
Right. Okay. Oh, try their French toast. To die for. And it was after some... I forgot which Mike Tyson fight it was, but the following morning, all of our chauffeurs headed to the Hard Rock for breakfast, and we're all signing off on the radio. Yeah.
That we're all at the Hard Rock. And so I get on there and I say, okay, I'm signing off. I'm at the Hard Rock. The dispatcher just lost it. She just popped the last gasket. She's like, the Hard Rock isn't one of our hotels that is on our list of preferred hotels. Why is everybody there? Why are you all at the Hard Rock? And so I get on there, it's 5:30 in the morning. And, I'm like, Lucy. And she goes, what? What happened last night? Mike Tyson fight. I said, okay, when the Mike Tyson fight happens, what comes in town?
Pretty people.
Hookers. Oh. All of the best prostitutes, call girls, GFEs, whatever you want to call them. Mm-hmm. The ones from LA, the ones from New York, the ones from Chicago come in.
And they all come to the Hard Rock waiting.
And it's 5:30 in the morning after the fight. What do you think they're doing? They are grabbing whatever little clothing they have off the floor, putting it on, and they're heading to breakfast to meet with the other girls to talk about how much money they made.
Yep, and they're going to need a ride home.
That wasn't even on our mind.
You just wanted to see them?
Oh, my God. It
wasn't about the money. It was about the people watching.
It was like the way that restaurant used to sit, Mr. Lucky's 24/7. You had the booth on the outside, kind of ringing it, and then you had series of tables and booths in the middle, and so all these prostitutes would be sitting there, kind of like a scene out of Coyote Ugly.
Ah, okay.
They're all sitting around in just barely legal. Okay.
And they're talking about the little last night and how much they made, and they're counting their money.
Yep.
My heavens.
Okay. And on the outside, with all the chauffeurs from all the limousine companies just drooling.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So
Keep in mind, most of these girls probably hadn't showered yet.
We didn't care.
You men, you're disgusting sometimes. You know that?
Thank you.
Yes.
So anyway, we were there Thursday night for the pole extravaganza. What was the official term of it?
It was called the Pole Dancing Expo.
That's it. The Pole Classic Competition and Pole Star Showcase. And the opening act was
Michael Jackson.
And MJ the Legend.
Yes.
Jules Franca, who stars in MJ. Was it the show at the Stratosphere? The Michael Jackson show at the Stratosphere.
Well, he was really good.
Yes.
He was so good that you forgot that it's not. He looked better than the real Michael Jackson.
And dancing around him was Jennifer Romas from Sexy.
Yeah, she was pretty hot too.
And Prince, the tribute show at the Westgate, but she's more known now for her show Sexy.
Yeah, we've seen that.
And she rocked it out pretty damn good.
Yeah, but I couldn't take my eyes off him.
Oh my God!
I mean, he was so good. He did 3 different performances.
Yeah.
And you really felt like you were in a Michael Jackson show.
Really was.
I missed not having the dancers all there, but
right.
Like Michael Jackson did. But he did Thriller, and I literally, everyone
there.
Speechless. I just couldn't take my eyes off of him.
Yeah.
She didn't even need to be on that stage.
Yeah, right.
I was for you maybe, but
actually no. In all honesty, after the first song where she danced around him, and then from then on he
really got into it.
Yeah, and they had the male.
Yeah, his team
rocked it. That was amazing.
Even the dancing. The dancing when they did they slanted and oh my gosh, it was like the real Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You can tell he's put hours and hours into perfecting his performance.
Yes.
So I'd like to go see him. We'll have to look into that.
We will.
Okay.
After seeing him there, definitely.
Yeah, we have to look into that.
I'm not a Michael Jackson fan, but after watching that, wow. Okay. And then came the pole competition.
Which I wasn't really looking forward to, I have to admit, because I'm a wife first. And when I went to this thing, when you told me we had the media passes, I was thinking in my head, strippers. Oh, yay. This is just what I want to go see, is a bunch of strippers on poles. I was so surprised to find out it was nothing like that.
There was no nudity.
Well, that too, but what I found, it was the top 17 women and men from people all around the world, and they were so athletic and so creative in their performance that I was blown away by the performances.
Yes,
both
you didn't even photograph one of them.
One of them, the cowboy, I'm sorry. I am a girl, and there was parts of me that I was so engrossed in his performance, I forgot I had a camera in my hand. But they were very, very. These are real athletes.
Oh my God!
And just they must work out an awful lot to get that good at that.
Yeah.
But I was very impressed with the performances.
It was.
It wasn't what I expected.
No.
I'm glad you took me to it.
Thank you.
It changed my opinion because I've told people since we went, guess where we went the other night?
Yes.
And they're all like, really? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I thought the same way, and it turned out it was nothing like what I had expected it to be. There was an awful lot of pretty people there, though.
Yes, there was. Our thanks to the previous guest that we had interviewed, Funny Monday, who this was her brainchild, and this was just so much more than we had expected.
Yes, and it looks like it was a very big success. So congratulations, Miss Monday. You did an amazing job.
Yes, and and I mean, I'm like you. I mean, you stood there and you watched them, and you're just like, holy fuck.
Yeah, the things when they hang on to the pole and they do the splits straight out, or they hold it with their arms and they put their entire body out. I've seen it in the Cirque shows. Mm-hmm. So one of the men performers had actually worked with one of the Cirque shows for many years, and now he's doing this. But you can see the strength in their body, in their arms, and in their the muscles, how they expand when they're working. This is not an easy performance. It reminded me a lot of gymnastics and ballet, a combination of gymnastics and ballet.
But then they added a story to it, or they added some expressions to it.
Well, that's what I mean by the ballet part.
Right.
The ballet, it was a performance. They pick a song, they give you a performance. It wasn't just dancing on a stripper pole and hoping somebody would throw $1 at them.
No.
This was a real performance. And if you're into ballet or watching gymnastics, which I'm huge into the gym. We got a 5-year-old granddaughter in gymnastics, so I watch every Monday. But I was very impressed. It turned out to be a lot more than I expected it to be.
Yes.
But the cowboy, I'm sorry, I did not get a lot of your pictures. You did a really great job.
There were a couple of them that, I mean, I got a video of them, and I just kind of held the video going, okay, yeah,
Yeah, hopefully you're working, because I'm really not doing my job.
I'm like, oh my God, how the hell do you do it? Okay.
Well, it was just...
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
And like...
The woman at the end in red that was missing an arm.
There you go.
She did the exposition, I can't come up with the word, but she basically come out to show you...
The showcase afterwards.
The showcase, yeah. She basically was there to prove to you that nothing should hold you back, that having a handicap does not mean you can't follow your dreams. And
she had one arm.
And she had one arm, and she did such a great performance that you forgot that she was missing an arm.
Yeah.
I literally, when going back and looking at my photos, I caught the photos where you can't tell her arm is even missing, and she's just as good and looks just as beautiful as any of the other ones out there.
I will have to admit that I wasn't ready for her.
Yeah.
So I only got like 20 seconds of her on a video, but it's the same thing. You're just sitting there going, when she came out, I'm like, oh, great. And then she started, I'm like...
Yeah, the pity one.
Yeah.
We're doing I feel sorry for this one, so let's let her do a performance.
So, yeah, and then I had to hurry and break out the camera and start the video, and I'm just, wow.
Yeah, and it was like, she just proved to me that...
If I ever hear anyone bitch about how hard their job is, I'm going to go, try that.
Or, the people who are out there feel sorry for me because I have a handicap.
Yeah.
I deal with depression. We all deal with something. It does not mean you can't still tackle your goals, set a goal and fight for what you want. And she just reminded me of that.
Then afterwards, we went out for a late dinner at Mr. Lucky's 24/7, and you enjoyed the French toast.
Yes, after I tried ordering the tuna and didn't realize that
it was seared.
I don't know what it was, but it was raw, and I don't eat raw fish.
Yeah, whatever.
But I had fun eating your French toast.
It was good French toast.
I recommend the French toast. It's the best I've ever had.
All right, cool. We are recording this on 9/11.
Yes, we are.
And by the time this posts, there's going to be another post up on the website, thevegastourist.com. It's going to kind of go over my recollection of that day and the days afterwards, because Vegas fell silent. I mean, when you're used to stepping out of your hotel and hearing the sounds of Vegas and, all of this going on, you don't realize what it's like when there's nothing.
And it was like that everywhere because I was on my way to work that morning. And when I got to work, I work in a manufacturing plant. The entire company was stopped. Everybody was staring at TVs.
But, being a chauffeur, I had a really, really nice boss, and he kept us all employed. Paid us all minimum wage, but he kept us all employed when everyone else would be laid off because there was nobody here. But to stand on the strip and not hear anything is just this. It's almost like for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it felt like Twilight Zone.
Wow.
Because
you should have got some shots of that.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's one of the things I really, really wish that I had done, because we could drive our limos down the strip and not worry about traffic because we were the only vehicles on the strip. And the only reason we were driving is because we were so bored from sitting at the parking garage at the Bellagio that we had to do something.
Wow.
So you drive the strip. And the town was empty.
You should have got some of those shots like the movie The Last Man on Earth,
yes.
where you stand in the middle of the street, take pictures of you with nothing going on.
Because for the first couple of days afterwards, everyone sat in their hotel watching CNN, wondering when they were going to get out of here.
Well, we also, all the airports were shut down,
right.
And we didn't know what else could happen. Everybody was waiting to see what was going to happen next. Nobody had any answers. And
we didn't realize how valuable the international market was to us at that point.
That was a big eye-opener, I bet.
Which is kind of ironic because of our guest. This was not planned. I did not look at my calendar when I said that I want to interview Gloria. This was not part of the plan. But once I stopped to think about it, it's like this now I have a good lead in because we, not hearing those airplanes come in every day, you just realize how important those little birds were to my job. And I can recall the first time we saw a plane land here in Las Vegas, and it was a United jet, and they had planned that specifically for it to be a United jet. The number of people, I was parked at the Bellagio I was parked at the Bellagio at that time. I was out front, and that first jet coming in was a United. Everyone that was there erupted in applause to finally see a plane land. Wow. It was just this whole, okay, we're now moving out along. So anyway.
That's the first step.
Yes.
Right? We've taken our first step back to normal.
Yes. So ironically, I got to interview Gloria Kritzler, who was my first boss at Casino Travels and Tours. She corrected me. I always get it wrong. Is it Casino Travels and Tours or Casino Tours and Travels? But anyway, her and her husband managed that, mm-hmm. And they were one of the first ones in the market to offer tours. And then along came this chauffeur, and she said, "Oh, what the hell? I'll hire you. All right,
we'll give you a shot.
Going to do my charity for the day."
Hey, you're one of the best tour guides I know.
So now she works with, and then from there she was out on her own for a while. This is it's all in the interview. But anyway, but she was also working out at the West Rim when they opened up the Skywalk. So we get to talk a little bit about that, how that changed everything. Mm-hmm. And now she's over at the Tropicana working with Virgin Holidays, which is owned by Virgin, which is Virgin Atlantic, which is Sir Richard Branson.
Okay.
The billionaire guy. Okay. His most famous quote is, "Do you know how you become a millionaire?
How's that?
You start out as a billionaire and then start an airline."
Okay. All right. So he's got a sense of humor.
Yes, he does. And Virgin Holidays is a service that's available to anyone that books through Virgin. It is what it is. It's a concierge service, and they will basically hold your hand from the time you leave London or wherever to the time you come back. You know,
so it's like the old-timey travel agencies.
Yeah. But it's not, but it's not an extra service that you pay for. It's part of your it's part of
your Vegas package.
It's part of you flying with them.
Wow.
And as a tour guide, I can tell you some of the most strangest things will happen when you're not home and you need somebody to talk to. And usually it's me. Mark, I lost this. What's this?
I can't find my whatever it is.
And I have to look at them and go, I can't help you. Well, with Virgin, you just call the concierge and go, I need tickets to, okay. And
they just handle it for you. So it's like your own personal secretary for your trip.
That's what they do. And, and they have it here in Vegas, and they have them here in New York and LA and all that. So we talk a little.
DC?
And yes, she is a member of the Las Vegas territory, so that's why we are interviewing her, because we are starting a new adventure. Yes, we are. This is in conjunction with the Las Vegas territory, and all of the links will be up on the website. So here's my interview with Gloria Kritzler, and come back afterwards, and we will do a wrap up. Here's Gloria. Mark Anthony here, TheVegasTourist.com, and I am standing next to Gloria Kritzler, who is a Las Vegas Territory member 4, and she works at Virgin Holidays. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
How long have you worked here?
5 years.
How long have they been here?
23 years.
Really?
In Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Virgin Holidays Concierge, what do they do?
Well, Virgin Holidays, we are a receptive operator for all of our customers who book a Virgin Holiday package in the UK. So they book a package, and once they book the package, our concierge staff here contacts them immediately after they book it to see what they're interested and let them know that we are here, their personal concierge, when they arrive, when they're here, and when they leave.
No, it's just not Vegas.
No, it's all of our Virgin Holidays, all of our prime locations.
Right.
So we have it in Los Angeles, in San Francisco. We have it in Orlando, New York.
How important is the UK market to Vegas tourism?
Really important. I mean, they were one of the first ones out here,
The first international?
Yeah, international. Virgin Holidays was actually one of the first planes that actually came out here.
Really?
Virgin Atlantic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they celebrated, I want to say 15 years ago. It's over 50, because they did their 10-year anniversary when I had just started.
Okay.
So I think now it's like 15 years ago. They were the very first ones, and they're treated very well at McCarran Airport because of that.
Have you met Sir Branson?
I actually did meet Sir Branson before I even started working with Virgin Holidays. Okay. I happened to be at an event, and they were celebrating his birthday, and I was there, and we were talking about his cake.
Is he as nice of a guy as?
Very nice.
Yes, cool.
He's very well liked in the UK, and he's done a lot for the UK too.
All right. Now, how long have you been a territory member?
I've been a territory member for, God, I think I'm going to age myself, but over 15 years.
Now, you were my very first tour boss.
Yes, I was.
You had the insight, or you were just drunk, but you hired me? Let's give him a try.
I like your name, Mark Anthony.
There we go. Thank you.
I thought J-Lo was going to come and visit us. No.
Yeah, contract. No. You were managing casino tours and travels.
Casino travel and tours.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Were they the first ones to do that in Vegas?
To be a concierge? Yeah, because basically they were a tour company that handled all of the services inside the hotel. So they were one of the pioneers.
They were the ones that kind of broke the ground for everyone.
Well, them and Allstate.
Okay.
Allstate ticketing. So it was Allstate ticketing was all about shows, and Casino Travel and Tours was all about tours.
How did you get into the business?
I always wanted to be a school teacher, And
Okay.
and my mom kept on telling me that it wasn't enough money, so I got into computers. So we moved to Cleveland, Ohio, and I started working for a newspaper company, and I worked in their data department, and I ended up becoming a programmer. And I had, in Cleveland, that's Midwest, so, everybody's goal then was be a stay-home mom. That's what I wanted to do. So I was a stay-home mom for 3 months. Then I got a job at a travel agency. When we decided to move to Vegas, I had travel computer under my belt, and I ended up working with Casino Travel and Tours with Dr. Elias Ghanem, which he was an awesome man.
And then from there, you worked with the Wallapai to open up the Skywalk, didn't you?
I did. I actually worked with, after Casino Travel and Tours, I started my own business.
Okay.
So I had my business for a while, and then the Skywalk asked me to come and work for them. So I came and worked for them when they first opened.
What was that like? Because that whole thing was just so unique. Out in the middle of nowhere.
Awesome.
They built this skywalk.
Cantilever bridge, 70 feet out, 80 feet out, and it was just amazing. It was a vision of David Jen.
Yeah.
His vision was that he wanted to be like the bird, be able to walk out in the middle of the canyon or as far out to the canyon that you can and stand there like a bird.
That's
exactly what it is. Yeah.
No, I know because people ask me what it's like, and you go out there. It's a mind thing because your mind is your eyes are looking back, and the only time that you should see that canyon wall is when you're a bird or you're falling.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had to drive that road every day.
Well, I kind of was lucky for the first few years. I actually would helicopter in and out to work. So I would get on a helicopter, fly into work, and helicopter back. So, it was tough. It was tough, and it got tiring.
Yeah.
And then after a while, then I ended up driving back and forth just because we had a whole team. But yeah, I did do that road many, many a times.
How many tires did you go through?
I was one of the lucky ones. I never had to go through the tires because I got to drive a big giant Hummer.
Okay.
So I was lucky, but going down that dirt road. So I was there when they started building the pavement, the new paved road, And actually, when I first moved here and I started working with the Wallapais, because we had a really good relationship with them. At that time, the road cost a whole lot more, but at that time, they were saving for the road. At that time, they had estimated that it would cost $15 million.
Back then, they figured it.
Back then, right, and that's what they were saving for. So, of course, when finally the road started, it was far from that number.
Yeah. Were they expecting it to be that huge of a sensation?
Yes, David's vision was huge with the Wallapais, that this was going to happen, because who else? I mean, now, because of the Skywalk, there's bridges coming up all over the place.
Yeah.
They have one in Japan. They're calling it the Cantilever Bridge as well. They have one, there's like 6 of them now in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, so yes, they did expect it, because this was something that he just thought of and said, let's do it. And somebody came up, they drew it, they did it, and it's amazing.
It is. Even for all the times that I've been up there, you still look at it going, cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like Hoover Dam. You just got to look at it and go,
wow.
Built it.
I know.
They built it.
Right. When Grand Canyon, I believe it was 1984, when Grand Canyon West Rim actually opened to the public, Virgin Holiday customer was the first one to land at the canyon.
Really?
And it was a small airplane that was actually right off of the other side of Hoover Dam, so it was on the Arizona side, and they actually flew them out. They had a little red checker blanket, and the whole picnic. They did the whole picnic element, and it was on an airplane. So that's for history. That's for the books there, right?
So cool. All right, and then you moved over here to Virgin.
And I moved over to Virgin. Yes.
So now is this service a extra fee, or
No,
is this-
no, this is part of the program, and we get to, anybody, like I said, anybody who is coming to vacation here in our area, Las Vegas,
Right.
we concierge them from the minute that they have made their booking. And we start contacting them and letting them know we're here for them. They ask us questions. We make restaurant reservations, whatever is.
Yeah. Well, I know from my experience dealing with clients of yours, because we pick them up here. And I've looked at the website. It's hand-holding from start to finish.
Yeah.
As
If
much
they
as they
want us,
want.
yeah, as much as the customer wants, we're here for them. And if something goes awry, we're here. If it's, there's not very many companies that, you have a problem, you get there, you call us up, we fix it so you can continue your holiday. That's what our goal is.
People from the UK come here. Do they strictly come just for Vegas?
Sometimes they do. They come here and they'll come to Vegas, and from Vegas they might go to San Francisco, they might go to Los Angeles, they might go to Hawaii, Mexico, Orlando. They jump all over because they're flying over 10 hours just to come to this, to our part of to our part of town.
Now, this service is available for them the whole way.
Concierge service is available the whole way. So if they happen to be in Los Angeles, our Los Angeles concierge, they could get a hold of them. They could get a hold of us again. It doesn't matter where they are. We're there for them.
Yeah, as a tour guide, I know, that I've seen it happen. We're out at Bryce, or we're out at the Grand Canyon, and they have an issue. And all they do is just dial up a phone, and it's like, okay, it's done. It's handled, and they can go about their tour.
Right.
It takes that.
That's our goal.
Yes.
Yeah, we want them to continue their holiday and not allow them to worry about those issues.
Right. Cool. All right. What do you get out of being a territory member?
I have the opportunity to network with everyone. It's a great place to see new people, old people. When there's new things happening in the city, Las Vegas Territory is a great place to find out all this new information. So.
Well, I also see it because it includes Laughlin. It includes areas that people tend to forget is part of that Vegas experience. Laughlin is a very important Vegas market.
Yeah, we have all the surrounding areas. We have Laughlin, we have Mesquite. All these people come together and they bring us new information.
Yeah.
Did you know in no, not Mesquite. It's in the Lost Museum,
The Lost
right?
Museum, that's
yeah. But what is the name of the area there?
Oh, okay.
They have anyways, where the Lost Museum is. If
Right.
you're heading out in that area, one of the things they have is a pomegranate carnival or a pomegranate festival. And I think a couple of us are, we just found that out the last month at our territory meeting, and a couple of us are actually going to go out there and check it out. We would have never known about it. So that's a cool thing, yeah.
What does Virgin Holidays get out of being a member?
Well, it gives us an opportunity to learn something new. A lot of these, our meetings are about what's happening in the city. What information can we bring to you? What we can do with the information that we're getting, that we could strategize so that we can improve our services, knowledge. Maybe we'll run into a supplier who is just brand new, walked in the door, new attraction, and now we have a direct connect.
Right.
And that's really important as well. And then we can bring it back and say, look, this is what we could offer on our services to our customer to let them know.
Cool. Your office here is in the Tropicana, which is one of the most historic hotels still existing on the Strip.
Yeah.
And they just did a massive remodel, upgrade?
They did. They did a few years ago. They remodeled the hotel, and it's amazing. It really is. The people work here are amazing. The place is amazing, and we're so lucky. We're so blessed to be here.
I like the fact that you walk in and it's got the modern vibe, but like hanging on to that stained glass ceiling gives it that retro touch.
Yeah, it does, and you can feel that. But you love, what they've done to create this hole from the lobby. Do you know when they, and I don't know a lot of the insights, but being here as a Vegas resident, I know a little bit of tidbits and history about it. But as a Tropicana pro, I don't. But I can say that when I would come to the Tropicana to visit for whatever business purposes, and I'd have to go to the lobby, the ceiling was so low and the flooring was high that there were people who were 6 feet that couldn't even get in, over 6 feet.
Yeah.
They couldn't walk the lobby. They couldn't get into it. And they just recreated that lobby. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it pours out. It just pours out to you.
It does.
Yeah.
What is one of the funniest questions that you have ever been asked?
They want to know, where can they go to see the desert? And I said, look at undeveloped property. That is the desert.
Look behind you.
Underdeveloped property. There you go. There's the desert. Isn't that crazy? That is the funniest question. You are in the desert.
Yes. 3 things that a Vegas tourist should do.
Grand Canyon, shows, and an amazing restaurant.
All right. What's your favorite show?
My favorite show is... I do like Le Rêve. That's one of my favorites. But then recently I just went to O, and it kind of became my favorite. But no disrespect to Le Rêve, I still love Le Rêve.
Right. Le Rêve is more intimate.
Yeah.
O is O.
O is O, but it's great. I loved O too. I saw it from a whole different view, and I was amazed. It's beautiful.
When I first moved here and I was looking for work, I remember seeing an ad in the paper back when we used to read papers. They were looking for a costume changer. Oh, that's cool, you know, okay. First line, diver certified. I didn't realize they have this whole crew under that tank.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I did a backstage on Le Rêve, and it's amazing what they're doing and changing and everything else. And you know, O and Le Rêve both have seating where you could sit down and you could actually see. Well, I'm sorry, Le Rêve does. I don't know about O, but Le Rêve has seating where you can sit down, and as they're diving down in the pool, you can actually see the monitor of them actually going in there and coming out, and yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Right. Okay, hidden gem.
Hidden gem. You know, I think a lot of people don't realize how awesome Valley of Fire is. I think they just think it's one of those things that are, but when you go to
rocks.
Yeah, just more rocks. But when you go to Valley of Fire, and one of the great surprises about Valley of Fire is when you're driving in, you don't have any expectations of what it's going to look like, and you turn that corner and you see that sea of red. It's just amazing. You know, you're like, oh my God, I never even knew this existed, and where did it come from?
Yeah,
right.
Really.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful.
You know, and then once in a while you'll get the bonus of like a bighorn sheep or something out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I remember a few times coming over that hill, and you see the rocks, and all of a sudden you see that sheep right there going, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, cool. And then you go out the other side and you have Lake Mead.
Yeah.
You know, and all that.
Yeah.
So it can make a huge loop. So
yeah, beautiful.
It's always fun when you take people off the strip. That is one of the things I love about being a tour guide is once you get them off the strip, all of a sudden they just kind of like, wow.
I know. You're absolutely right.
You know, favorite Vegas movie?
Favorite Vegas movie? I would have to say, the one with Demi Moore. Remember when with James Caan and Demi Moore? When her husband, she was ready to, and who else was in there?
Was that?
It was way back.
Honeymoon in Vegas.
No, I think that's a comedy, Honeymoon in Vegas.
Okay.
No, it was where she comes out and it's her and her husband. No, that's before that. We'll have to Google it.
Wow. Okay.
I think it was with Woody.
James Caan and Demi Moore.
James Caan. I think it was James. Who was the one that was with her?
Yeah, Indecent Proposal.
Indecent Proposal. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. It was so Vegas, you know?
Okay.
It's like, that can happen. That can actually happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
When you have friends and family come in, what do they find surprising about Vegas? Anything?
They just, look, this is an old story.
Okay.
But I had a cousin who came out here, and she came with her husband, and they get in the car, and he's drinking a beer. And she goes, "What are you doing? You can't drink and drive." He goes, "Yes, you can. This is Vegas." So there's such a misconception of what you can do. They think you could do everything, and it's, sometimes they have to come down to earth.
Yeah, we do have some laws here. We do have some.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, exactly.
Some restrictions every now and then.
Right.
So cool. If anyone has a question about what you do here, is there a way to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. You can contact us. We have a website, a Virgin Holidays website, which is www.concierge.virginholidays.co.uk. I gotta look it up.
Long one there. I will post.
But no, better yet, you know what you can do? If you want to get a hold of me, you just go to lvterritory.com or you go to lasvegasterritory.com, because we're changing our name to Las Vegas Territory. Go to lasvegasterritory.com and just type in Gloria, my last name, Gloria Virgin, my name will pop up. My contact info is there, and you can reach me anytime.
Cool. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Any last comments? Words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. I don't have any. Come to Vegas.
Bet on black. Huh?
Yeah. Bet on black. Come to Vegas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're back.
Yay, that was so awesome.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
She's fun.
Yeah.
How often do you get to interview your old boss? Okay, come on.
How often do you want to interview her?
There is that whole thing.
I mean, we did, when we went on our honeymoon, we did meet my old boss.
Yes.
She basically helped save my life, but she molded me into the person I am today.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't have a whole lot of old bosses I'd like to say hello to, let alone interview. But you did an amazing job. She did an amazing job.
Yes.
It was a good one.
Yes. You met her.
When we went out.
We were out to...
I remember meeting her. We were in Boulder City.
No?
No? Is that not the one? When it was like a car show or something like that?
It was at the Link.
Oh, you were standing there talking to her.
Yes. We were there to see that show where they make noise.
The noisy show.
The noisy show. Yes. Do not remember it at all. It's just recycled percussion.
Recycled percussion. I knew it was percussion. I couldn't remember the first part.
Which is kind of funny because in the interview, I had asked her what's her favorite Vegas movie, and she couldn't name the name of it, but she named the stars of it.
She could name the people in it.
And yeah, we're both sitting there going,
blew you away.
Coming up with, no, that's not it. Nope. Okay, finally, screw it, Google. Oh, Indecent Proposal.
Which was a good movie and the first person who's ever come up with that one.
Yes. All right. So, again, all of the links, all of the show notes are up at thevegastourist.com. Like the podcast. Leave your comments, your questions, things like that. Hit us up. We're also up on Facebook, YouTube.
All those other places.
Pinterest, Tumblr.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Can't wait for the next one.
Okay. Not sure what the next one is. Hey, no, I know what the next one is.
What?
We're going down the Colorado River in a raft.
We are. We're taking the grandkids, and one of them gets seasick, so this ought to be interesting.
This will be fun.
Yes. But they never get out much, so This will be fun for them.
You're listening to thevegastourist.com, and we'll be back next week. So until then, have yourself a wonderful week, and...
Ciao. Bye.
Ciao.
See you later. Well, arrivederci.
Okay. All right. That's it.
It's getting dark. Shows